So welcome back to part 4 and the final edition of Building Rapport. So today I want to talk a little bit about voice and the importance of using voice when building rapport and the power of using voice when building rapport. So voice matching. So it's, as I mentioned, it's extremely powerful. And I would recommend that you match the voice as quickly as possible. So what are the things that we're going to match? So what are the things we're going to match? So we're going to match the pitch of the voice and the tone. So the thing is to shift your tonality. So how do we go about doing that? So if it's in the high range for a man or a woman. So if you're talking to someone of the opposite sex, what do you do about that? So if you're talking to someone of the same sex, then you can easily match the tone by simply being in the same range as they are. So if I am speaking to a man, what I do is I actually move where I project my voice from to my solar plexus, so just around here. So if I am projecting my voice from that space, it tends to be deeper. So if I'm a man and I'm talking to a woman, what I do is I would move my voice up to my heart space. And if you are projecting your voice from your heart space, you actually lift the tone of your voice. So there's a couple of tips if you're talking to someone of the opposite sex. Now the next thing that you can match is actually the tempo. So if you match the tempo which the other person is speaking, and that means whether or not they're speaking fast or speaking slow. So you can match the speed. So some people speak really fast and with a higher pitch, particularly when they're excited about something. Whereas if someone is really in their body, they have a lower tone and a slower tempo. Okay. Now, the timbre of the voice is something else that we can match. So what is the timbre? The timbre of the voice is the quality of the voice. So some voices are noticeably clear and crisp and sharp. Other voices can be very raspy. So there's the timbre of the voice. And then there is also the loudness, so the volume. You can match the loudness of the voice as you are talking to the person. So it's really important to remember that the voice is one of the most underrepresented rep systems in our world today. It didn't used to be like that. So it was more highly represented previously. We had lots of storytellers, we had bards, poets and singers, and all stories were told that way. They weren't written down. So matching the voice outside of people's awareness is what usually happens because it's not something that we have an acute awareness of. So you can match their auditory tonality, their tempo, their timbre and the volume. And you can gain really rather rapid rapport by doing this. So the next thing that we tend to match or mirror is common experiences and associations. So that's what we normally do. That's what we're taught to do. So where did you go to school? Are you interested in any sports? You know, what's your favorite color or animal or whatever? What do you like to do? So finally, the other thing that we can match is content chunks. And that means how people group their words. So some people group their words in noticeably short chunks and others in longer blocks. And this is what we refer to as the rhythm in which people speak. So if you can match the rhythm of the content chunks that people use, the way in which they chunk their words, then you can notice that and utilize that. Or even if you find something that's a little bit unusual about their speech. So there are some people who add a tag question on to their sentences. So they may say something like, it rained a lot today, didn't it? So they may always put didn't it, or don't you know? Some kind of phrase that might be a little bit idiosyncratic for them. If you can find those things and you can utilize them in your own speech, then their unconscious mind registers that you're like them, and likes like. So practice these things, or even if you're just trying to notice these things that you didn't notice before, will be really useful for you. And as you begin to utilize them and practice the utilization of them, you will really recognize how quickly and easily that you're able to build rapport simply by increasing the flexibility of your own behavior. Now, next week, we're going to run a live Q&A in relation to building rapport, where you're welcome to come and bring any questions that you have in relation to the series. So we'll be doing that with Heather Morgan, I believe, which will be awesome, and also our COO, Nicole Manuel. So please feel free to join us. We will advertise it in the Facebook group, and we look forward to seeing you then. Bye now.